I recently went and watched the Backrooms movie, and it was great. It was awesome. Man, I really enjoyed the movie. I went with my two sons. I watched all of the I watched all of the videos that Kane Parsons created on YouTube on his playlist, and my younger son got me into it. I don't want to talk too much about it, but I mean, what I mean is I don't want to talk too much about all the previous stuff. I'll go to the movie, but I was really hyped for this movie, and I was a little worried that it was not going to meet up with my expectations, but honestly it was really good. So in the movie that was produced by A24, we follow the main character is Clark, and this guy, he runs a furniture store. He's also a pirate, if you didn't know. And it starts off kind of beginning, well, in his life, he's in therapy. He's got some issues. He was either married or in a relationship with somebody who left him, and the guy has some major anger issues, and that was shown in a therapy session where his therapist, her name's Mary, and they do this role playing where she's like, let's go back to the night where you broke the glass, you came home drunk, and he was like hesitant, and they go back and forth, and she decides to play like the part of his wife in this role playing thing, and she's like, I'm so sorry you didn't become an architect. And he was like, I am an architect. And he was just so angry, man. And he was so angry. He felt like he's just like, why won't you get off your butt and pay some bills? You're going to go to school forever, stuff like this. And he's like, I pay for this house. This is my house. And he was upset that he got kicked out of his house that he paid for. And which is pretty messed up, but anyway, so he's working at this furniture store. There was never one customer in the store at all in the movie. So that's how bad his life is, right? He works at this furniture store. He's Captain Clark. He has this pirate outfit, and he's walking around doing this commercial with a fake peg leg, and it's ridiculous. And anyways, he brings a guy out because the lights start flickering in his shop. He's trying to figure out what's going on, and they realize the breaker box is not installed right, and he lives at his warehouse, at his store, which is ridiculous. Like, to me, I'm like, as soon as the lights start flickering, I'm out. You know what I mean? Let's pack up. Get the dog, let's pack up, we're out. You know what I mean? We're not living here anymore. And but anyway, shortly after that, he ends up seeing a little bit of light through a wall, and he goes and he touches it, and he realizes that that's where you can enter into the back rooms. And this guy just loses his mind. He goes into the back rooms. He starts exploring it. He gets scared. He hears footsteps. He leaves. He goes back. He tells his therapist about it. And she's looking at him like, okay, this guy has lost his mind. You know what I mean? And he tells her about it. And she was like, well, why do you think nobody else has found this place? So also the therapist has her own past, right? Her mom was crazy. And her mom was telling her, like, don't leave the house. Don't ever leave the house. There's people everywhere. They're all out there. I didn't really know, like, what the issue was with her mom. I almost, in my mind, I wanted to think that she knew about the back rooms. But I don't even know if that's the case. I think it was just, the point is that her mom had her own issues. But so Clark tells his therapist about this back rooms, and she's looking at him like, okay, this guy has lost his mind, So anyways, later on, he leaves a message and says, hey, I've opened a window into the back rooms. I think he said something like that. And he's like, I'm just going to be here. I'm going to stay here. So it's like, why did you call her then? Like, what was the point of calling her? But anyways, so she goes after him. She goes after to try to find him. He marks the entryway into the back room. She goes in the back rooms. Clark shows up and he says something to her. He's like, I think he was talking to her and he's like, you know me, it's Clark. And he ends up choking her out. And he was like, this is for the best, Next thing you know, this was the best scene in the movie. This next part, he has her like, her wrists are tied up to a chair. And I forgot to mention, earlier, Clark ran into these people that live in the back rooms, and these people are scary, man. These people are scary. They are deformed. I'm sorry if that's not the right word. Basically, the back rooms is something that it recreates things that are in the real world, but it doesn't know how to do it like 100%. So everything that makes, like, it makes a chair, it's leaning over. It makes a couch, it's like half of the couch or whatever. And so it tried to make these creatures who are kind of like humans, but they don't talk. And apparently, so there's one lady who walks around. There's a little short fella who has a little lamp, and there's like a big guy with like a striped shirt. And so Clark is like explaining these people to the therapist. He's like, I just love it here. And he just lost his mind, and he's like, let me show you this. And he's like, the best part about it is they don't feel pain. He stabs one of the guys like right in the head. No pain. No, the guy doesn't react. He doesn't say anything. And then it gets worse. And he goes, the best part about it is that you can eat them. And he cuts off like a chunk of the guy's stomach, and it just looks like foam. Like it looks like cotton or foam. And he plops it down. It makes this nasty, disgusting noise on the plate, and he plops it down in front of his therapist. Like, she's gonna eat that. Are you kidding me, man? Are you kidding me? And he was just like, I love it here. This is home for me now. And I'm like, oh boy, how messed up is your life that you want to live in a place where these people can't talk and they look crazy, they're scary, you know what I mean? And anyways, next thing you know, there's a big version of one of these things, which is like another version of Clark, but it's his pirate version, and he's like 8 feet tall. And this is one part I wasn't really a big fan of. I felt like his face looked like a little bit too much like a puppet. Like, does that make sense? I thought it was CGI. And so he shows up, and this guy's super angry, and I didn't really understand why this version of one of those people, or I don't know what you want to call them, those people, why this guy was so angry. He was, I don't know if it's because Clark was very angry. I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling. But at this point, he comes into the room, and Clark he's talking to this guy, and he's like, oh, it's okay, buddy. I just talked to my therapist. She's right here. She's the one with her wrists are tied to the chair. And this pirate version of him can't talk or respond. He's just looking at him like, okay, I think you've lost your mind, homie. And he says to him like, it's okay. We don't have to change. And next thing you know, he bites Clark. He bleeds. And there was a theory. I've seen theories online that have said that version of Clark right there that got bit by that big pirate version was not the real original Clark. And I don't think that's true, because he was talking and he also bled, and people talked about that in the theory. So I don't know. I really don't know about that. But from that point on, I believe that Clark gets killed by the big pirate Clark. And before that, Mary gets she gets untied and she has to escape, and there's this huge chase scene between her and the pirate version. I mean, man, it was a great movie, man. The build up, there was a lot of great scenery in the movie, like great scenes, just great imagery, I guess. And it did build up kind of slow, but then it picked up majorly towards the end. this chase scene. She gets away. She ends up beating this. She breaks his peg leg off, which was a great move, by the way. Like, this someone's 8 feet tall, bring him low. You know what I'm saying? Bring him low. She breaks his peg leg. Is that what you call it? You know, what do you call that wooden leg? Anyways, and so she ends up beating this guy with this little piece of cement that was from her childhood, and she gets through. She gets into the spot, and then she runs into Async, which is the corporation that's responsible for like doing all this research of the back rooms. And they start spraying her because they think, she's got to be contaminated. Is she even a real human? We don't know. They didn't say that, but so they're spraying her. She's passing out. She talks to one of the guys, one of the Async guys, and she's just trying to say, like, what's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to me? He rambles for a while. I don't remember what he said. And anyways, interesting point is, like, that particular guy, I saw him in an interview before the movie, and I'm like, this guy is barely in the movie. Anyways, the acting was great in the movie. The main guy who played Clark, Chiwetel Ejiofor, I'm sure I said his name wrong. Great acting. He really killed it in his role. The therapist who played Mary, she did a really great job. There was 2 other people. There was a assistant manager of Clark's, a girl. I can't remember her name. I think her name was Kat, and then she had her boyfriend. Kat's acting was a little off. You know what I'm saying? But hey, come on. We all can't be, Academy Award winners, but it's okay. And I'm telling you, the movie was really good. I believe that it met the hype. It lived up to the hype. And I talked about this earlier at the beginning of this. I got really into this, and before we watched the movie, I was telling my younger son, who was the one who brought this up and showed me all about it. I'm like, this better be good. This better be good. And it was good. It really turned out really well. And hats off to Kane Parsons. The guy's only like 20 years old, I believe. And I really think he did a great job. I know he put in a lot of effort into all of the videos that have, been on his YouTube channel prior to the movie. I don't know, man. It was just really cool. I actually want to go see the movie again. And the last time I went back to go watch a movie in the theater, I think was the first Matrix. So it's been a while, and it was great, man. It was really good. I don't know what other, I don't know what's going to come out next. I don't know if there's going to be more movies or more short films coming out on his YouTube channel, but I'm ready for it. I'm all ready for it. So anyways, let me know if you watched the movie. Leave a comment, leave a like, leave a subscribe, whatever. I appreciate it. And I'm out of here. Talk to you later.